Australia has been one to have many bushfires in the past. A home for incredible biodiversity that is found nowhere else on the planet has fallen victim to a catastrophe. The bushfire spreaded worse than any other they have had in the past. A terrifying experience not only for animals but people as well. The horrible experience is the Australian bushfires of 2019 and 2020. Cobarga, a dairy farming village, fell victim to climate change in the summer, being regarded as one of the most dangerous bushfires in history. Many have begun to call this the Black Fire, quickly spreading out and overtaking various cities and areas. Record breaking temperatures have been recorded around the continent through December, the maximum average being 40.9 Celsius and breaking by 41.9 the day after. We have interviews given to us by Can Insider to bring more information and more from dairy farmers. Other interviews will be shown later on. For now, let's hear of the horrible situation from dairy farmers who had the unfortunate events placed upon them.
I was prepared for the inferno. I always felt it could be an inferno, and we got an inferno. Probably the worst fire this country's ever seen.
You have the roar of the fire, you have a great wall of flame, and then you'll have the eucalyptus will explode, and the fireball would just jump 500 metres or more at a time and just explode onto the ground, just like a giant bomb going off. I stayed here on my own, and June and son-in-law James were at the dairy and the main house defending down there. There was just the three able-bodied people here, and during the fire, during the chaos of it all, the neighbour from the neighbouring property showed up on his tractor, and he was badly injured with an ember in his eye. He was in great pain, and I was trying to tend to him as best I could, but he refused to go inside. He lay down on the veranda with a wet towel on his face, and I was stepping over the top of him, dragging water hoses, and yeah, that's all we could do.
The quickly spreading fire has caused various impacts such as 18 million hectares burned by the bushfire, destroying 5,900 buildings and 2,800 homes, affecting mental and economic costs, while 1,700 species of plants, animals, and ecological communities have been officially listed as threatened, including 500 species of wildlife that many are becoming on the brink of extinction. Firefighters and others are trying their best to work and fight back this fire. Here are the interviews of firefighters who dealt with the horrible forest fire itself.
The Black Summer fires were an experience that I'd never gone through before. The season started very early in the far north coast in August, where we started getting very big fires, and then progressed south to Gosford's Mountain fire starting on October the 26th, and then the fire season just kept progressing further to the south into the south coast area, where we were still getting fires in February and March. I don't think those fires could have been prevented. The conditions, the climatic conditions that we were facing were such that any ignition was going to take and put significant fire on the ground. So could they have been prevented? I don't believe so.
The Black Summer fires is something we haven't seen before. I have heard of reports in the 1890s and early 1900s of really bad fires on the coast, but of course they didn't have resources then to defend the areas like we had now, and I think we were complacent in a lot of ways, that we never thought that the fire could be so widespread over hundreds and hundreds of kilometres, and that's something that's never happened down here before. So it really stretched resources to their limit.
Due to the frightening risk of another possible bushfire of such magnitude, solutions have been attempted to prevent it as best as possible. One of the solutions being hazard reduction, starting fires under controlled conditions to try and burn away anything flammable, quickly looking for possible fire starters to have the resources and prevent them as quick as possible. Later, firefighters have gained the technology to replicate the dangerous conditions to fight fires, Mullins being the one to offer this simulation training. Here is some on Mullins' views and what he has been doing.
It's one of the challenges we see with traditional training is that we have to go to hot fire training grounds, we have to burn materials were exposed to carcinogens. So the flame technology was really developed to enable the training to come to the firefighter. We can put firefighters in all manner of experiences that they may or may not ever see in their career. We allow them to make mistakes. We allow them to experience what those kinds and types of fires are, and we allow them to learn from them.
Under traditional training, our restrictions have been getting the right number of people around the right weather conditions, be it the wind, be it the temperature, wind strength, and having the right location to do training. With the immersive, you don't have to have any of that. You don't have to have a minimum number. Your minimum people are one. Whoever wants to go and do it, whoever wants to be involved. And then the weather and the wind side of things doesn't come into it, because you can be inside a shed or you can be outside. It doesn't matter. In a tent, it doesn't matter. You can do it anytime, any place, anywhere. The feedback you get through the pack on your shoulders, the kickback from the hose when you shoot the water, you get the kickback. If the fire heats up, you get heated up. You actually feel it in real time. There's no lag. It's not something that I haven't felt outside of being in a hot fire environment.
To help after this tragedy, you can donate and more on wwf.org.au. They have more information on the black fires and ways to donate, having PDF files about information and some things you could do to help